Joining us now to unpack all of this is legal expert Melusi Xulu. Thank you so much for your time. So we will, get another we'll look at today's postponement a little bit later on. But let's start with the development now by the Supreme Court of Appeal. So former President Jacob Zuma's attempt to appeal the ruling setting aside his private prosecution of President Ramaphosa has on previous occasions been dismissed by the High Court as well as the Supreme Court of Appeal. When the matter came before the High Court today, it was revealed that the SCA dismissed another reconsideration application from Zuma in May. So just unpack all of this development for us and what it means now.
Good afternoon to you, Nati, and to the viewers at home. Thank you for having me. Basically, what is happening is that every time the former president wants to make sure that this matter, the appeal is being heard, it's not successful. For instance, last year, I believe it's in September, in the Gauteng High Court, the appeal was dismissed, and then he took it to the Supreme Court of Appeal in February, and they stated that it does not meet the requirements for an appeal. It's not satisfactory in that regard. And then in May, this year, as the advocate was saying, Advocate Bofo, the reconsideration still in Supreme Court of Appeal was not successful. So now they're taking the matter to the Constitutional Court. Now, the basis of the application for the postponement is based on the fact that in terms of Section 168 of the Criminal Procedure Act, in a criminal proceedings, the matter may be postponed to any date if the court deems it necessary or proper. So that is what has happened, and it was postponed in a longer date, which is February 6, 2025. So between now and then, we'll see how the matter will be taken and heard in the Constitutional Court. And the main issue is that the former president is saying the invalidation of the private prosecution by him against the current president, President Ramaphosa. He's appealing against that. Now, remember, the court in July it said that this private prosecution is set aside because it's unlawful, it's unconstitutional, and there were ulterior motives for such.
So just talk to us about, what are the former president's prospects here, just given that the matter has been on the court's roll since 2022?
Well, let's look at the logic of it. The former president is saying that the release of his medical documents, which are confidential, were done by Advocate Billy Downer and also, I believe, the journalist Tracy Mon. So he is saying when he complained about that to the president, he was expecting the president to intervene and do something about it. But he's saying the former president, the current president, did not do anything. So he's then saying he's an accessory after the fact. Now, if I will simplify that for a viewer, it basically means that an accused is an accessory after the fact if he continues to assist an accused. But if you look at the case, what is the case about? It's about medical documents which were, inverted commas, leaked to the public. But the defense of Billy Downer is that, Advocate Billy Downer, is that those medical documents were in the public already because they were actually submitted to court. So they were for public consumption, inverted commas. Now the president is saying, I did look at the matter when you complained, but I took the matter to the minister then of Justice, Mr. Lamonda, if I'm not mistaken. So he's saying, I did attend to your matter. So that was his defense. So in terms of the prospects of success, I don't think he will succeed in the Constitutional Court because for an accessory after the effect, it must be that there's a crime to speak of in the first place. Now, the case for Billy Downer and Karen Mon, not Tracy, Karen Mon, has been dismissed. So the question is, what crime did the current president, which is Mr. Ramaphosa, commit? That is where the question lies, and I don't think it will succeed in the Constitutional Court.
And also, what do we read into the fact that, President Ramaphosa was not in court today? We saw, of course, the former president was in court. But, we do know, of course, the court had previously granted Ramaphosa an interdict, effectively excusing him from court. Just unpack that for us. How much of that weighs in terms of his attendance?
Well, he was excused because his advocate did say that she's noting the postponement, so he was excused for that. And then obviously, whilst they are dealing with the issues of appeal and constitutional court, possibly he will be then excused because this private prosecution was set aside. So I think the fact that there was, even if you're an accused in just a simple matter, if your attorney is there to be there for you, whilst the matter is postponed, being postponed and it's agreed upon, it's not a problem. So his absentia is not much of an issue. I think the crux of all these issues is based on the fact that will the former president ultimately succeed in his quest to ensure that this private prosecution does succeed. I think at the end of the day, that's what we want to see. And as I think most of us can predict, we do not think that it will necessarily succeed even in the constitutional court.